Hello, welcome back. How are you? I am fine, thank you. Thanks for asking. Last Sunday I went to Dresden because I had an audition, and after the audition I still had like 6 hours time before my train back to Berlin. And while I was searching for things to do, I realized that there was an anime and manga convention. There was a convention in Dresden and it was the DeDeCo. And so I went, and I'm going to show you some things that I saw, some things that I did. Okay, let's talk about it. Also, there's going to be a bubble tea ranking in this video, because of course it is. So I paid 15 euros to get in. It was a relatively small convention. It had like one main stage and one smaller stage. It has a games room. There was also a maid cafe and also in like anime cinema, just a room where you could go and watch anime. And it had some food and the main hall, which there were all of the people selling stuff in there. So I went around the main hall and looked at some of the stuff that we're selling. Usually I go for plushies, but I wanted a small one. And I really didn't anticipate going to a convention because, you know, I came for an audition. So I had like a big backpack with me with all of my costumes and stuff and my ukulele. So I was basically running around the convention with my ukulele, with the big backpack, and it was just so unnecessarily heavy and hot, and I really usually when I go to conventions I come more prepared. So as I was saying, usually I go for a plushie because I love them, but I didn't even have enough cash for like I had just barely enough cash on me to get in and to get a boba tea, so unfortunately I couldn't bring anything with me, but there were lots of really nice things. There were also a lot of cosplayers there, which I loved, but it was a relatively small convention, so, you know, they didn't have like, when you go to the Tanoshii, which is every year in September, we have a very big, it's in my hometown, so every year I go there, and we have a big space outside, and usually you see lots of people in like gigantic cosplays and like big dresses and with like wings standing there posing for pictures, but this convention was way too small for that. I went to the big stage and took a moment to pause, and I saw 2 shows there. The first thing I saw was Tanoshii, K-Project New Kingdom. So Tanoshii is like, I think they're from Berlin. It's a group of people, of cosplayers who are going on stage and making a play basically. And K-Project The New Kingdom is, I think they had their premiere. I saw the premiere there. So it's their new stage production that they have. They are doing dancing theater. They had really like a nice, even a nice video installation, and I just saw their play and they seemed like to have lots of fun, very great costumes, so I enjoyed it.
Ich fass es nicht. Futterst du etwa schon wieder?
Of course I don't know anything about K-Project, like I didn't watch the series. I should, but I didn't, so I really couldn't tell if the story was nice or not, but you know, they had fun on stage. It's always like nice to watch it. Yeah. Before I watched them on the main stage, however, I got boba tea, and we're going to do a little boba tea ranking here. Okay, so let's see. What tea did I get? There weren't that many options. Honestly, there was just one option, and that is a fruity syrup boba tea in XL. You couldn't choose any other size, they didn't have any. They had 3 popping boba toppings, which was strawberry, blueberry and mango. And they had for the tea 3 kinds of syrups, which was white peach, mango and strawberry. So I got a white peach tea with strawberry popping boba. Let's rate it. First, let's rate the price. Okay, so they only had, as I said before, only had one option for size, which was XL, which is 650 milliliters. I'm basing this off of the one that we got at the alley, where the small one was 500, or like the medium one, it's 500, and the large one is 700. So even though this one says it's XL, it's a little smaller than a large at the alley. And it was €5.50 for the tea, but you had to pay extra for your boba topping, so 50 cents. So for my boba tea, which is tea and boba, I paid €6. And for what it is, I think it's too much. I'm sorry. I know it is like, okay, this one is of course special because it's a convention boba tea, you know, it's just one single little tent that they put up because you have to have boba tea at an anime convention, of course. But yeah, it's not really, you know, you can't hold it to the same standards as a normal boba tea shop. Of course, this ranking is just for fun because this is just a nice little pop-up thing. So I'm not going to be too hard on it. But I still am going to say what I'm going to say. You will see what I have to say. And I say, for the price, it's 1 point. And I'm basing this off of nothing. I'm basing this off of the thing that you have to pay at least €6. You know, there's nothing cheaper than €6. You have to pay €6 at least. And I think for boba tea, you should be able to get a boba tea under €5 if you want to. So, 1 point. The popping boba itself was nice, it was good. It was a little small, so let's do 2 points there. Was it vegan? Yes, it was vegan, 3 points, but it was vegan because there was no milk tea option, so yeah, it was vegan. Did they use fresh fruit? No, they used syrup, so let's give them 1 point for that. Is it sustainable? Absolutely not. It's just plastic. Except for no, the straws were actually paper. It was a paper straw. I think, yeah, you could choose between a plastic and a paper straw, which I thought was perfect. It was very good because you know, sometimes you have like a condition, something where you can't use paper straws and you need to use a plastic one, so it's good for them, you know, that you can choose, but that they have the paper straws and you can actively choose a more sustainable thing, you know, that's very good. So let's give it, for sustainability, let's give it 2 points. Let's give it 1 point. 1 point for sustainability. I don't want to be too harsh, but what is there except for the paper straw? This is just trash, you know? So let's just give it 1 point for sustainability. Now let's go to the aesthetic. Was it aesthetically pleasing? I think the plastic on top, which has this anime boy, this picture, this was very nice. It was, yeah, it's an anime convention, so it's very good if you see like an anime character on top of boba tea. But other than that, it was just like, you know, there was no, it just looked. So even though I like the picture, I cannot give this an extra star for the aesthetic, because it was really not aesthetic. It was really just, you know, just a clear plastic cup. So, sorry. The straw insertion was... I struggled with it, honestly. Okay, I did not choose the plastic straw, and maybe it would have been better with the plastic straw, because obviously the one that I chose was made from paper and it did not have the impact that it needed to break through the plastic, but my god, I struggled so much. This was scary. 0 points for straw insertion. I'm sorry. Okay, let's give it 1 point, because maybe it would have been better with the plastic straw. 1 point for straw insertion. Did it taste good? Let's see, what do I say? Alice from the past? Let's see, what do you say? Okay, you can see that at the beginning I was really kind of surprised because it tasted good, and because I was really thirsty and I wanted some boba tea, and I love boba tea, so... But then, as I went on drinking, I realized that this did not taste... It was just so sugary, and you know, when you drink it after like half the cup, I didn't feel like drinking it anymore, because I didn't like the aftertaste, you know? So for boba tea, I mean, for what it was obviously, it was okay, but not the best, not the best. So let's give it 1 point. And obviously it does also not get a grandma point, because I would not give this to my grandma. This is my ranking for the boba tea. These are 1 points. I was so happy that there was a boba tea stand there. And other than a boba tea, there were some of the usual things. I think there were there were two things where you could get some snacks from, which was mainly sausage, and there was also one vegetarian sausage, I think. But you know, just little snacks, nothing too exciting. And then there was one stand where people were making fresh onigiri. And I really wanted to try them. They looked so good, and they had lots of different options. None of it was vegan, but lots of different options. But people were just queuing up. It was such a long queue. I'd had to wait there for like an hour to get these onigiri, so I didn't get them, but I really would have loved to get some, because they looked very delicious. So after I had my boba and I went to see Tanoshii on stage, I walked around the corner a little bit more. I briefly went to the maid cafe, but there were so many people waiting out front and I didn't feel like waiting, so I didn't get in. But I got a quick glance inside. So then I went to the games room. There was one room where you could play like off-the-grid games, you know, like card games, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, all of this stuff. And then there was one games room where there were lots of computers and you could play like Mario Kart, Tekken. And I got to play Beat Saber for the first time. Unfortunately, there's no footage of me playing Beat Saber for the first time because I am only one human and I couldn't play and film myself simultaneously. I still need to develop that skill and grow like a third arm. But just imagine me standing there doing this for quite a while. So then I went back to the big stage, the main stage, and I got to see Abscission Dancecrew with their K-pop dance show. There was one girl that could really dance. I was so impressed. If you see this, you've got a fan. Actually, there were two girls. The one in the blue trousers also could dance really, really well. So I quite enjoyed the show. So then I went around the con a little bit more, and when I got back to the games room they were just giving out prizes to the winners of the Mario Kart tournament, which was really nice to see. While I was walking around the con I really wished for Helena to be there, because she has a selfie stick and you know it would be easier to film with the selfie stick. I think my problem is that I am not funny, but in my head I am, you know. So when I'm talking out loud it's not that funny, but in my... okay, forget it. Eventually it was time for me to leave, so I left the DeDeCo and I went back to Berlin, where I am right now. And that's it for this week, for my adventure on Sunday. And the next day I went to Hamburg and also did a boba tea ranking there, and you will see this video in a while, so see you then. Thank you for watching.